What's up, Tube? Welcome to the second best Gel Blaster channel. This is my ultimate scar build. Was my ultimate scar build. What obviously happened is I hey, what's up, Boydie? Along the way of this build, I guess my ideas of what my ultimate scar may or may not have been changed. So this may or may not be my ultimate scar. This was the intended. Basically, the idea was to throw a bunch of money at the scar. What resulted was a pretty good scar. All the alloy bits like the charging handle and stuff. But unfortunately on the weekend just gone, my barrel decided that it didn't want to remain glued into the T-piece, so I'm going to have to open it up and yeah, fix that. So if you play this video in reverse, this would probably be the final episode of my ultimate scar build or something like that. Either way, let's get cracking. Looking at building a scar, see what's been done and what you're changing. Well, I'm not going to be changing anything on this. I'm just going to fix the T-piece. I might grind some grooves into the barrel to help the glue hold on there or something. Yeah. Basically, what I'll be doing is just taking it apart, fixing it, and putting it back together. First thing I've got to do is obviously remove all these bits and pieces. Flashlight, PEC 15. I really like this PEC 15. It was probably one of the more expensive bits of flare that I've... actually no, the most expensive one is the actual the PVS 14. That's the most expensive piece of flare I've ever put onto a blaster. This 3x magnifies a little bit tricky. I don't know why it doesn't seem to land in the rails quite properly. I think the scar rails aren't quite maybe they're not correct, or maybe this isn't very good, one or the other. I did have problems trying to mount a another type of scope onto the scar. What was it? It was the solar powered one. I can't remember the name of it. SLS or something. Are you gonna get shirts made? No, but did you see my patch, Boydie? Yeah, I don't have one here, so I can't show you, but they'll come. You can see the green tape on the front grip of the blaster. That's a mandatory tag from the field that I play that marks the FPS of the blaster, so it marks that it is safe. I don't even know what the power of this is. It's not a real big powerhouse or anything, but I think it's around 300 FPS maybe? Can't remember. Maybe we'll chrono it once I've put it back together. That seems fun. People like that. And I don't know if you guys own scars and you're familiar with the perils of the battery cable. if you're familiar with the perils of the battery cable in the Scar, when you crack this and your battery cable gets crimped inside there, I've actually made this one crimp free, so you can slap that however you want and it doesn't crimp. So that's cool. If you get a Scar, I recommend doing that. It's just a braid over the battery line. It's handy. Not a patch kind of guy. Well. Oh well. I think a lot of people are patch kind of people in this sort of bizzo, so that's what I'm doing. I don't wear anything that actually has a place to put a patch, so it's not great for me, but if I find some place, I'll probably put it on my pack or something, or I'll just throw them at people. You've seen the shirt though, right, Boydie? Do you want to see it? I can get it. It's pretty funny. I actually found it the other day and I was like, oh, I was actually doing an oil change, and I needed an oil rag, and so I reached into my oil change kit for an oil rag, and there it was. Le Guido's Chop Shop t-shirt. Just kicking around being an oil rag. Coming up to Queensland. When's that? When is that? And whereabouts in Queensland is it? Because I might. I mean, like, I need an excuse to go to Queensland. More deets. First week of July, Susan River. Susan River. Whereabouts is that? Like, geographically. Name a big town that I would know, because being that I don't really know. Better grab that t-shirt and shorts. The oil rag, alright. Bear with me, I'll get the oil rag. It's certainly seen better days, the old Le Guido's Chop Shop t-shirt. Ah. But yeah, like I said, it is an oil rag. Hervey Bay. Is that like the only, like, I only really know I'll have to look it up. Geographically I'm not that familiar with all of Queensland. I know the Sunshine Coast and I know Cairns. What's up, John? So how big is this event? And what happens? I was considering the idea of going to New Zealand in October for airsoft, just for something different. Someone invited me to go with the Australian airsoft team to New Zealand to play. Sounded pretty fun. I'll give that a crack, I guess, if I can get the time off and all that sort of thing. 3 hours north of Brisbane. Oh yeah, that sounds good. So it's north of the Sunshine Coast. It'd be like close. It'd be near the Sunshine Coast, right? Because I know the Sunshine Coast area. I'm up there often. I mean, I don't know it real well, but I go there. Able to post links for you to read later. Yeah, go for it. If it works, I don't know. Does it work? Can you post it? It's not up to me, it's up to YouTube as to whether they allow the links. Hervey Bay's Fraser Coast, which is above the Sunshine Coast. Okay, cool. I could potentially do that. I'd probably have to like hire a blaster or something because I'm just not super keen on the idea of travelling with blasters. Or I could just ship one of mine up there, I guess. It's possible. I will certainly have to look at my schedule for that time of the year. Alright. Oh, see this? Can you guys see? This is what happens when your barrel falls off mid. Oh! It's not actually the. Wow! Alright, cool. Check this out, guys. This is cool. I actually like it when weird stuff happens on live stream because it makes it fun and new. I actually just thought that the glue had failed here, and that the barrel had just sort of slid out. But no, actually the T-piece has failed. The T-piece has literally split in half, and then the balls have just all fallen down into the shell here. How good's that? That's good. Like, that's a proper failure. That's awesome. I kind of like. I mean, I was hoping for something a little bit less dramatic, so I could just like glue in another barrel. But yeah, that's a proper failure. That's good. I don't know how that happened. Well, obviously, how does that happen? Like, it's not like the T is under a lot of stress in there or anything. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that I've managed to snap a T-piece. There you go, guys. T-piece ended. Fortunately, I can just go to my big pile of T-pieces over here and grab another one, ready to go in. But I haven't seen that before. I haven't seen a T-piece snapped in half like that. That's pretty good. yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with that. I'm gonna snap something and snap it proper. Break it proper. Because I gotta admit, I was a little bit disappointed. I thought the glue had just given up. And I thought that this glue here had just come out and the barrel had just slid out, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just maybe put some grooves in the end of the barrel, something, you know, a la Bruisemaster, like this, so that when you glue it in, it's got something to grip on. But yeah, snapped. So like, that plunger has literally come at it so hard that it's snapped it. Good effort. I like the way all the balls have just gathered in the bottom here. That's kind of funny. See that? Right. Well, oh, it's easy enough to fix. I was just hoping for a oh, it's interesting. Well, check that out later. I do use hot glue on my barrels, so I've said many times before. One of the advantages of doing so is that I can just get my heat gun, which will just not reach into video shot. Heat it up and remove the old T-piece, get some more hot glue on there and get the new T-piece on. Snapped. Cool. That is a whose hop-up is that? It's a Beast Pro. It's a Beast Pro hop-up. Beast Pro ADC, I think. Is the nozzle seal still good? Looks good. I don't see any. It's still on there. It's, yeah, looks good. I'm gonna go with that's good. I'm just gonna dump these gels out of it. Of course, I'll drop everything but the gels into the water, because that's what happens. Come on. Oh, there's more. Jeez. I guess I was on rapid fire when this thing came apart, so I probably would have filled this bloody shell with gel balls at the time. Is the inner barrel still straight? This one? Yeah, looks good. I don't know if like my camera is fisheyed or something, or if that does that not look straight in the camera? Now I guess the trick with this is I'm gonna have to make sure that the barrel, when I glue it in, is lined up straight with the hop up or something like that. What do you guys think about these little weighted bits that they chuck in here to give you more better feeling? Some people don't care for them much. I don't mind. Camera lens might have this yeah, it looks straight to me. I don't know if it looks straight on the camera, but I do. It does. It does look. I'm pretty sure it's straight. I'm not concerned in that aspect. Interestingly enough, if you look at this T, I don't know if you can see that. I'm wearing really squeaky shoes today. Does it? Can you tell? Can you hear it? See this casting here? I don't know if you can see that. There's a little rough piece in the casting. It's just poking up just here. A little rough bit. That looks like some part of swarf from the casting process, and that looks about exactly where the other one cracked. Right, exactly where that little casting mark is. So it looks like that little casting piece might be a weak point in the casting, perhaps. Oh, anyway, I'll give this one a crack. Hopefully she lasts longer. I might even no, I'll just leave it as it is. I'll just glue it in, re-glue it. Alright. Just gonna heat this up again. Hot glue gun. Just apply a little bit more hot glue on there. And then twist it on. And then try and make sure that this is straight. Oops, I just dropped the bit into the hot glue. That's alright. I think it should be okay. That looks alright. That wasn't ideal dropping that bit in the hot glue, but it's not the end of the world. Ah, I'm not on the right camera. Sorry guys. Whoops. Alright. Thank you, Pete. Room for a layer of epoxy around the T-piece. Probably. Probably. What I'm actually going to do, because I have a file nearby, I'm actually just going to file that casting mark off. There you go, that's all it took. Issues. Yeah, just because I don't know if that caused some sort of pressure point in there or anything. I don't know. Probably not, but I'm just, hey, why not? I'm here, I can do it. Might as well. Alright. T-piece in. Yeah. Put these screws back in the gearbox. Alright, looks good. I've got the alloy barrel, a little bit of hot glue shmoo on there, but that's all good. The nylon receiver, gearbox shell, not receiver. I did put a bit of tape in here as well on this. I just taped the wires around the motor because that seemed to be a good idea to hold everything in there while I was assembling it. Yeah, let's smash this back together and test it. Well, actually, I could test it. I could potentially test it now because the it is a Gen 8, so I can just test it in situ. I'll do that. Alright. Alright. Yes, that works. It's got enough kick to throw those weights out of the shell. Alright, we'll pop it back together. With this piece in, so that's important. Actually, the one thing I haven't done, the only one thing that I actually probably should do that I haven't done on this scar is the alloy loop here for the sling. And I think if I was going to sling it, I would definitely use the alloy loop there because this plastic one is it just, I don't see it lasting if you were to hang it, if you were to sling it, I think that loop would probably snap pretty quick. Alright, just make sure that hop-up's pointing in the roughly right direction. Yes, it is. Oh, did well. Alright, slap this bad boy back together. And might even chrono it. We want to chrono it? You guys probably want to chrono it, hey? What are we gonna say? Way to bloody shit house roll around. Yeah. You know what I did on a lot of my earlier blasters when I pulled them apart? I wrapped like self-amalgamating tape around the weights to give them, so it's sort of like blue tack almost, and it like, yeah, just sort of goops them into place there. I hope you'll make a video talking about modding Gelgun to airsoft. No, I will not do that because it's illegal, and that's, yeah, end of that story. Layer of epoxy, yeah, could maybe. We had issues with irregular roundness in our SCAR T-pieces. T-pieces are pre-new barrel install. Took a right file to got rid of. Yeah, like again, Rise? Is that your name, Rise? Chinese quality control. It leaves something to be desired a lot of the time. Metal spring retainer with the bearing. I can hear the 1.3. What kind of noise is it making? Is it rattling, or does it go backwards? Does it backspin afterwards? Because if it backspins, then you've lost your spring on your non-release ratchet mechanism. Do a video of the conversation when I FP breached my front door. I would definitely live stream that. That would be worth live streaming. Fortunately, I live in a territory where that is very unlikely that will happen anytime soon. But things could change, we don't know. How often do I stream? Whenever I can. I don't have like, I'd love to say like I'll stream once a week or something like that, but I can't. Like, I just can't say I'll stream once a week, or I'll stream every Friday, or I'll stream every Saturday. I just stream whenever I feel like I've got something that might be interesting to watch or worth streaming. There's also a whole bunch of stuff that I do here that I don't film or stream. Sometimes I'll just put snippets on the stream and things like that. So one of the things I'm currently trying to do, so if you guys are familiar with the Glock, that's the Glock battery, the Glock 18, the SKD. I've got these little I think they're little helicopter or something batteries, and they're about almost the exact same size as that. And so I've pulled this one apart a little bit, and I'm gonna basically solder 3 of these together so that I can get. My plan is if I solder 3 of these together, I could potentially fit an 11-volt battery inside the Glock, which is a freaking tight squeeze if anyone's ever looked inside the Glock. But I am working on that. I just kind of want a sidearm that's useful. I mean, let's face it, if I am reaching for my sidearm at any point in the game, things have gone terribly, terribly bad. But yeah, the Scar is a great blaster. Its only downfall, in my opinion, is this plastic shell. The plastic shell is its biggest weakness, and it's not because the plastic itself is weak, because it's just these screws. Where the screws are retained in the plastic, eventually the plastic just tears apart. So you can, I've pulled Scars apart, brand new Scars from factory out of the box, and they've had the plastic stripped off of the thing. Unequal springs, you have the spring around the right way. Generally the right way is with the tighter coils to the back. But I mean, I think the difference will be pretty negligible, if anything. Right. So like, I'm very, very, very careful when I screw these screws into the Scar. Don't over torque them. Like, I'm only using like 2 fingers, a 2-finger grip on the thinnest part of my screwdriver, and that makes a difference. So like, if I grab my screwdriver here versus if I grab it here, actually affects the amount of torque that I can apply to the screw. And if I grab it here, I can apply too much torque for those screws and they'll strip out. Not to mention the fact that when I'm stripping down a gearbox, my fingers are usually so covered in schmoo that it's so slippery anyway, so I usually don't get the torque that that is required. But yeah, I am still very, very careful when I'm doing these up. Alright, now where's the screw hole that I've missed? Got almost all of them in. Why have I got an extra screw? I've done a better job than factory. I've put it together with less screws. What have I done? Oh, that's the screw for this. Derp. Mag release screw. Alright. Let's get a mag in this thing and whack it on the chrono, shall we? You guys are probably interested in that. I'm mildly interested in it. I mean, I like knowing the numbers as a magical pixie number that nobody understands, but it does give me an idea of, like, you know, comparative stuffs. But I mean, if it's powerful enough and it makes a distance and it's good in a game, that's all I really care about. I'm not that fussed if it's not as powerful as the next guys or whatever. I think I've told you guys before that my most powerful blast, or my most favourite blaster, is actually probably one of my least powerful. Worth noting. Alright, so now chronograph app. Alright, I just got to get some rounds to put in this. Oakley dokley. Prime this thing up. Alright, now let's chrono. Alright, what do we get there? Oh, there was a massive anomaly there. 788. I don't know where that came from. 3. There was a. Let's do that again. Get a better range. Helps when you're not bouncing them off the side of the chronograph, like I just did. Alright. So we're sitting around the high 200s, maybe a 300 in there somewhere. 307. She's alright. You'll do. The Chop Shop logo, stencil paint or a decal. On this, you talking about? Or this? Which one? This one's laser etched, and this one's a vinyl decal. That makes sense? Yeah, it's vinyl. If you can see it there. So I do have like various vinyl, so I don't know if you can see this. Sizes, small size, painstakingly small, that's what that one is. Who makes them? Me, I do. Okay, that's good. I guess I got to dress it back up again now. Let's do that. Let's chrono out of the way. So, one of the things that sort of I was going for with my Ultimate Scar build is, aside from building a nice strong gearbox, which apparently wasn't that strong because the bloody T-piece was weak. Hopefully the rest of the gearbox is stronger. But yeah, so the idea was obviously I wanted to like make it sort of SOP mod style. I wanted to add all these bits, and I wanted this PEC. I wanted this PEC 15 because it's got the legit IR laser, not like the fake ones that just have like little red dots and stuff like that, or even just don't do anything. This one's actually like, it's legit. I don't know if you can see the if we go to this screen, you'll see it in front of the, there it is. Yeah, so that's infrared. I don't know why I'm on this view. I think that one. Yeah, so that's got infrared, and I've actually got an infrared scope which goes on this. So where the 3x magnifier is, I take that off and put an infrared scope on it, and that way I can see the laser. And the flashlight that's on the side of this is literally, it's a space holder for where my infrared flashlight will go when I actually get a rail mount for it. So I've got an infrared flashlight, which it's about the same size as this, but it doesn't yet have a rail mount. So that's sitting there until such time as I get a rail mount for my infrared. Do you have the remote, the little button? Yes, and the plan was to have the remote button on the side here. What did I have on the chrono last, putting out 320? I don't know, I can't remember. Something. Do I have a I don't have any tattoos. Sorry to disappoint. Yeah, I have the switch for the PEC, but I don't have the little. I bought like a little rail holder that the switch sits into, so I can literally have, like, when I've got my grip here, I can just be like bam, bam, bam on the switch there. However, when they sent it to me, they sent me the wrong piece. So the one that arrived was just like a side rail protector type thing, so it wasn't the grip that I was after. So that was a little bit of a fail on their part. They just sent me the wrong bit. This is it's obviously a knockoff of an EOTech. It's just a Chinese knockoff of the EOTech. What is it? 522? I think it's 522. I'll go with that. Somewhere in there there's a hollow. Oh, there it is. Oh, this is super awkward to do because there's like a delay from when I move it to when it appears on the screen. But yes, there it is. It's in there. The reason I got this one is because I thought it would work nicer with the 3x behind it. Doesn't really. Just more for looks. But yeah, whatevs. Like I said, they're just pieces of flair, really. It does have the ability to function, but I mean, I find that in a game I'm actually never using any of these things. They're just for looks. And the 3x, I always, like, I think ever since playing, like, I think it was Modern Warfare 2, I think, was when I first saw the flip to side scope, and I was so amazed by the flip to side that when I saw that I could get one, I was like, yes, must have flip to side. I used it a lot in the Wall Street mission. I don't know what it was called, but it was the one where you're like running down Wall Street and basically New York is on fire. And like I would be constantly red dot, 3x, getting the bad dudes in the distance. Okay, apparently I didn't put that on very well. But yes, when it is attached on, you should be able to flip it to the side and pull it back in. Fortunately, it is only a cheap Chinese junky thing, so they're not that expensive. Let's see if I can get this. Again, as I was saying earlier on, I think this is to do with the plastic rails on the Scar not actually being an appropriate rail size. Can't seem to... Alright, that seems a bit more solid. Alright, so that's how it's supposed to work. It's meant to flip to the side without actually flying off your rail. Was soap in that one? Soap. Soap in that one what? I don't understand. Was soap in that one? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. Alright, so that's actually mounted properly. Alright, another cool thing about having all this stuff mounted to your rail is when you do tighten it, it sort of squeezes the shell on the scar together and holds it together better than those crappy Chinese screws. Just trying to remember where I had. There we go, right there. I always look at the wear marks on my rail to see where the bits I have were mounted. So yeah, so I can tell that I had this mounted there because of the wear marks. I'm a little bit anal like that. I don't know, I'm a bit OCD. I gotta put everything back in the exact same spot. Keep us up to date on the PEC 15. My LED burnt out within a month. Also glued in. I've had this one for quite a while. I've never used it on a night op, but there's a night op coming up soon, so I'm hoping to go out, replace this flip to side with my PVS 14. Got the PVS 14 night vision scope, which has the rail which just goes on there, and I use that with the PEC 15's infrared laser and with my infrared flashlight as well. It does also have a built-in infrared. But that's my ultimate scar, or the penultimate scar. Ultimate scar. That's it. That was the full build. Deconstruction and reconstruction. It's hot here. It's hot for some reason. I'm sweating. It's not usually this hot. But that's. I think I'm going to call it a night. IR shows up on phone cams. Yeah, it does, but not quite as bright. Like you got to sort of struggle to see it. Whereas on with the PVS 14, it's really bright. Like if you were watching the video earlier on, I shone it on the desk, and this camera actually picks it up. But yeah, it's got to be like fairly bright for the phone to pick it up. Whereas with the PVS 14, you see it like it is bright as bright. So bright. Alright guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to buy me a coffee if you feel like you're being a bit generous and you want to shout me a coffee. There is a link in the description. Just helps me, you know, because doing all this stuff is not cheap. And I love you guys. You're awesome. Peace.